I was on your website and I noticed that it said, obviously, that you've had years as a successful athlete yourself. So I just wanted to kind of, get to know you more and have you maybe elaborate more on that. So if the fans
Yeah,
of
yeah,
yours,
yeah. I've been traveling around the world since I was born. I was on the first kindergarten rugby league in Christchurch, New Zealand. I've participated in martial arts my whole life through actual family tradition of understanding things. Like,
The whole kindergarten rugby team. I mean, uh, I'm not sure how that makes him an accomplished athlete. In his mind, it does. Whatever that means.
quite a bit different than going to a place and giving them money. I never had to pay for training, and I've never been trained in that way.
That's not true either, because if you pay taxes, you are paying for where you live, and that's the group of people that are training you, whether it be a coach or public school. So if you did partake in these sports like you claim, you did pay for training, but okay.
You see now what I mean? Because in my life, I didn't have an easy, good home life to come home to. So all my opportunity to stay out of the house meant I have to play a sport. That is my only option. And if I want to stay out of the house a little longer, we better go to state. We better make it a little bit farther. We better get another 2-3 weeks out of this thing. That's what I'm praying for, right? So when you've thrown yourself into the situation where you're in team sports, you're in these things.
Well, he claimed in the beginning that he traveled all over the world playing sports. Yet now he's saying that this is all states and district and regions. That's all local stuff, man. So you were traveling all around the world during states and stuff. It's interesting.
Okay. How do you do that? Like, yeah, man. Like it's not the same thing to just talk about. Oh, I pinned so many people. I did this. I did that. To me, it's obviously I could have pinned more people if I was just not an angry kid and accidentally break a kid's back at Reno Tournament of Champions because I'm looking to try to get a scholarship and I'm scared I don't want to go home. So is it really fair for me to perpetuate more of that in society? Or maybe there's a reason why I'm keeping my mouth shut about real things. Maybe there's a reason why my
the way he talks about it, like it's absolutely nothing. Like, it's so funny because I remember when I had to wrestle and I hurt somebody very badly a couple times. This has happened actually, and I remember that I went to go walk up with somebody and on the mat, and I just drove through the guy so hard that I gave the kid a concussion, and he was on the floor, and it was actually I had the record for the quickest win in my school, although it was possibly going to be a disqualification since it was it was at my high school, so I think the refs were from our hometown too, and I'm not 100% sure about the refs, probably though. So I kind of, like, my coach was like, go to the locker room and just, you hurt this kid. It wasn't intentional, but they could have reversed the win. But it was literally, I think, about 3 seconds, and boom, I drove through him and I hurt him very badly. But I remember that. He's just talking like, oh, I broke some kid's back and that was that. I don't know. That's hard to believe, but okay.
And able to be in my body a little longer than most people. Does that make sense?
I have no idea what the fuck that means, honestly. No, Joshua, time does not slow down for you, even though you have these superpowers and No.
And that longer period of time in all of these things all around the world, not in one culture, one space, one place, constantly proving who I am, always being somebody in the room, that's how I know who I am.
Well, I think here we have a lot of contradictions, and some things like don't even make any sense. Like, he was a worldwide, traveled around the world, accomplished all-star athlete, like international, like worlds. There's tournaments that there are international tournaments. My coach actually went to them and actually won Olympic medals. Actually beat Ben Arskin a couple times, one of the very few to do that. I don't think he was anywhere near that, to be honest with you. Now that I analyze and listen to his rhetoric even more, the contradictions in his athletic career, they just don't match up, like from the beginning of the video to the end. Sounds kind of like a liar or exaggerated, or maybe he never was even an athlete at all. I don't know.
19 matches in a row when I finally made it to varsity. Won 19 matches in a row and lost every single one. Barely won 2 matches and got my little jacket. Achieved the goal.
Wow. So, like I said, I wrestled on varsity and had much better results than Diego, but this guru Joshua, you would think that he was the UFC fighter by his amazing high school career, and what, like, this dude is like, Joshua's like, during this interview while Diego's talking, like on his phone, just doesn't even acknowledge that Diego's talking, doesn't even listen to him. I mean,
I was this great fighter, legendary, legend, Hall of Famer. And Joshua was on another level, and I was able to understand that, and because he was on another level in a way that he could do every type of movement way better than me, movement, breathing, meditation. And this is not even just the techniques, we're talking, when you're in the presence of someone who has a higher frequency than you, that you raise your level, whether it's successful in business, whether it's, you're sitting there with like a very powerful king, there's levels to this. And me with my...
Wow. I feel really bad for Diego, man. I've seen Joshua Fabia's movements, and they are not on a UFC fighter's level. The techniques are not, they're not competent techniques in a fight. Joshua Fabia does not know how to do a single leg takedown, which you learn like in kindergarten wrestling, first grade, second grade, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth grade. These are basic things that that you should know. And when you watch Joshua Fabia move, you could see that he really lost his high school edge now, it seems like, because he doesn't get control of the legs, the hips, and you need to actually follow through on takedowns. He's always like twirling and giving up dominant positions and things like that, which like you wouldn't do especially in a UFC fight.